everybody, and welcome back to the Cancer Care Coloring channel. I'm Alex, and actually over my shoulder behind me, there's a new addition to the gang here temporarily. That's Mila. Hey, Mila. Hey. That's my son's and his girlfriend's dog, and so we are dog sitting. So we'll see if she just chills for this. For this week, we're going back to an update. This is just going to be an update about what's going on with me, what's going on with my cancer. So no drawing this week, and I totally understand this is not everyone's cup of tea, and if it's not what you're looking for, I totally appreciate that you stopped by, and next week will be another drawing video. Okay. So I'm going to try to make this relatively quick, but I try to give updates on how my stuff is going. Every couple of months, I get my CT scans every 2 to 3 months, and so when I get new scans, I figure it's time to give an update. Just let everyone know what's going on. So for those of you who might be new to the channel and haven't really seen any of my past updates, just a quick recap. My cancer is stage 4 lung cancer. It's adenocarcinoma, and it has metastasized to other areas of my body, some lymph nodes along the heart, some underneath around the stomach and liver area, and then it metastasized to a few spots on my bones, one on each femur, 3 spots on my pelvic bone. So that's the way it's been. So my last set of scans before yesterday, this past week, the tumors were sort of just stable. They weren't really doing much of anything. So 2 months later, here we are in May. I was scheduled to go back and get scans. What's today? Today's Saturday, so on Thursday. A couple of weeks. Actually, if you've watched any of the videos from last week, week before, I've mentioned that I was having some neck issues. So I went to doctors here in Rochester and got scans, MRI, CT, and they have found another spot of metastases. So I have another spot on one of the vertebrae back here. So that's not great news. You don't like to hear that. And then they also found another spot on my rib. So we don't like to hear any of this. So all of that sounds like really bad news. And it is. Of course it is. You never like to hear that your cancer is spreading while you're in cancer therapy. On the plus side, I will say I was having a lot of issues with body pain and fatigue, restless leg syndrome. I can't even believe that's a thing, but it is, and I now have it. And night sweats, really bad night sweats. And so this new prescription that my primary physician put me on, it's a gabapentin, has actually helped quite a bit. And so I actually feel better just day to day. I feel better right now, even knowing that the cancer is sort of still doing its thing and bouncing around in there. So that is actually good news. The past 2 nights are probably the last. I have not had a good night's sleep in months just because of night sweats and the restless leg thing. So that's a step in the right direction. It's not perfect, but it's helping a lot, and it's only been a couple of days. All right, so the plan for the cancer. It looks like right now what we're going to do is we're starting radiation therapy on Monday. I'm going to do five doses or 5 treatments or whatever it is, Monday through Friday next week. And what they're doing is they're doing each of my femurs because unfortunately the tumors inside of my femurs are up at the top of the femurs, and actually on my right-hand side it's right in that, they call it the neck of the femur, where your femur comes up and then sort of comes in, and then the ball for the ball joint, I guess. But that little neck is sort of where the tumor has planted itself, and so it's a fracture risk, and so we've decided we're going to go ahead and do the radiation therapy on it. And on the right side as well, because I have more pain on that side than I have on the left side as well, because I have more pain on the left side. And so we're going to just do both, and we'll see if we can sort of stop what's going on there. Also looking at radiation therapy for the neck, but we haven't set scheduled dates for that yet. As far as the rest of the cancer treatment therapy goes, what we're shooting for is something different. I've been on immunotherapy, Keytruda, and it has helped some, even though I have tumors growing and some of the other, new tumors growing, and then the metastasis spots in the bones, but also some of the other tumors, my primary tumor in my lung, some of the lymph node tumors have actually grown as well, but some of them have actually shrank some. So there's a consensus that the Keytruda is still doing some good for some of the tumors, but in the other areas, those cancer cells are they have a resistance to Keytruda, so it's not going to do anything to them. So we're looking to see if I'm eligible for. Shoot, I get this mixed up. Is it targeted therapy or direct therapy? Direct therapy, targeted therapy. Shoot, targeted therapy. All right. Well, I'll edit this piece out if I have it wrong. Targeted therapy. Shoot. Targeted therapy. Okay. We're gonna say targeted therapy. If I have it wrong, just my bad. It's just a brain fart, and I'm not gonna sit here and Google it, and just don't feel like messing around with the editing. So let's say it's targeted therapy, and so we did some blood tests, and we're gonna find out whether or not I'm gonna be eligible for targeted therapy. If I am, that's good. That's really what we're hoping for. I think the odds are low. But in the meantime, what we would do is we would stop with the Keytruda, we'd stop with immunotherapy, and I will get to enjoy 4 weeks of chemotherapy. Chemotherapy can't stop. I have to wait 2 weeks, or can't start. I have to wait 2 weeks before starting chemotherapy from when I finish my radiation therapy. So I'm doing radiation therapy next week, and then 2 weeks after that, I'll begin chemo. I'll do that for about 4 weeks, maybe 5. At that point, the Keytruda, all of the immunotherapy drug, will be out of my system. They say 6 months. Immunotherapy drugs stay in your system for way longer than chemotherapy drugs. So it'll be 2 weeks after that will put me at the 6-month mark. So the Keytruda will be out of my system, and I would be able to start the targeted therapy. If I am not eligible for targeted therapy, then I will continue to take the Keytruda because it is doing some good for some of the tumors. So I get to enjoy the side effects that come along with that. But, you got to do what you got to do. It's the trade-off, and we do want it to do its magic on the tumors that it can do its magic on. And we will also do chemotherapy along with the immunotherapy. So the same deal, I'll still be starting in 3 weeks no matter what. So in 3 weeks I start chemotherapy, which I have to admit I'm apprehensive about. But again, of course, we need to do what we've got to do. So I think as the weeks go on, even though I'm feeling pretty good right now, and I think, I think overall I'm getting old and getting sort of, I don't know, rickety, but overall I think I'm in pretty decent shape, all things considered. I think the chemotherapy is going to obviously take its toll on me, and we'll see. If I'm only doing it for 4 or 5 weeks, that's going to be not fun, but better than if I have to go for longer lengths because I'm not eligible for the targeted therapy. So I think that's what we've got for now. That is the update. That's where I am. Not the greatest update. Nobody likes to hear that you're getting new spots popping up as you're going through your therapy. But as far as the cancer care coloring goes, I am still absolutely dedicated to making this happen. I'm going to turn these into a coloring book. There's no question. I am absolutely going to do the adult coloring book first, and then I'm going to do the children's coloring book, the children's version. So even though we've had these issues also, the new issues, the doctors and the oncologists are still very optimistic. We also work with an oncologist, an integrative oncologist out of Oregon, who is really ahead in her field and she is very optimistic that we're going to be able to work on this new therapy for the next year, and then a year from now, see what the next step would be, because it'll be time to sort of change things up then. But you always like it when you hear you know something like this, with a diagnosis like this. You want to say, well, in a year you're going to be able to switch over to. So it makes me feel like, all right, so we're not worried about me dropping dead anytime soon, and I'm not worried about me dropping dead anytime soon. So that's it. That is the update. That is where I am right now. I won't give another one of these updates until my next set of scans. I know things are going to happen, as far as am I eligible for targeted? Am I not? Is it going to be just chemo? Is it going to be, so I know there's things that are going to happen, but I can just sort of offhandedly mention things, maybe at the beginning of some of the drawing videos. I'm not going to do another video like this anytime, probably not till I get my next set of normal schedule of CT scans, couple 2 or 3 months down the road. So, if you took the time to watch this whole update, I thank you very much. Obviously, you're concerned about what's going on with me and my health, and I thank you for that. I really appreciate it. The kindness that people have shown since my diagnosis has been unbelievable. It really has been unbelievable. I may have really have started losing faith in humanity, and then something like this happens to you personally, and you really see just how many good people there are out in the world. And then I just have to avoid watching the news so I don't have to see all the crap that's going on in the world. So I thank you for taking the time to watch the video, and if I believe that if you've taken the time to watch the video, you've already subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, please consider subscribing. The higher my subscribing numbers are, the better it is for me, as far as how I'm not compensated. I'm not like making money off of YouTube or anything like that. But the more numbers I have for subscribers, the better the chances of like YouTube putting some of my videos out there in the universe for other people to come find the channel, and that's what I'm hoping will happen. Also, there are all sorts of other ways to get a hold of me personally. They will be at the end credits. And I think that's it for this week. And thanks again for taking the time. And happy May 4th. And may the force be with you. And we'll see you next time.